tell, I'm pretty excited because I got a new job. Hey everyone, my name is Elisa, and in this video, I'm going to talk about lessons that I learned during my job hunt. If you're new here, hi, so nice to meet you. Welcome to my channel. I provide career, product management, and just general adulting content. So if any of that's interesting to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. And you can also like the video too. So let's do some real talk. Zoom in here, get real up close and personal. So I just got a brand new job. I'm so excited about it, but the job hunt was really intense. It felt long and exhausting, and at times it felt defeating. So I wanted to make this video so that I could talk about the lessons that I learned, and hopefully if you are looking for a job, you find my insights somewhat helpful, and you'll at least know that you aren't the only one who is struggling or getting tired during the job hunt process. So let's dive in and talk about the lessons that I learned during my job hunt. So the first lesson I learned was that job searching or job hunting can take a lot of time. And I knew that, and I've been through the job hunt before, but this most recent round of interviewing reminded me that the process of finding a new job can take a lot longer than you expect it to. My job search took 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. I had to watch as friends and family members would start their interview process after me and get a job before me. And that was really tough to watch. My job interview process consisted of about 3 months of me trying to just figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't know what industry I wanted to be in, and I wasn't even sure if I should limit my search to just product management roles. Spoiler alert, I did decide to stay in product management because I like it. So the first 3 months of my job search were me just trying to figure out what I wanted to be doing with my life. So it consisted of a lot of research and a lot of informational interviews, just trying to figure out what sounded somewhat appealing. And then the second 3 months was where it got even more intense. The second 3 months consisted of resume updating, cover letter writing, a lot of cold applications, reaching out to recruiters, networking, and obviously interviewing. Lots and lots of interviewing. Some of the positions that I was applying for, which were mostly in senior roles in product management, some of those roles had 6 to 7 rounds of interviews, which is crazy. And almost every interview process required that I do some sort of presentation or some other sort of activity that required a significant amount of preparations. So the last 3 months has just been really intense and filled with tons of interviews and presentations that I was giving. So the lesson I learned is that a job hunt can take a long time. All right, so the second thing I learned during my job hunt process was that rejection doesn't always have to be a bad thing, even though it feels really bad in the moment. Now, there were a couple times during my job hunt where I was rejected, and I have to be honest, it stung. I felt defeated, and I also felt like I wasted a ton of time doing all the preparation for these interviews, and it was just frustrating to put so much time in just to get rejected. But although it felt pretty defeating during the process when I did get rejected, there are a couple things that are really clear to me in hindsight. First of all, it was actually a really good thing that I didn't get a couple of the jobs that I was interviewing for. I obviously wasn't a good fit, and if I'm being really honest with myself, I had some concerns about the roles during the interview process. Like, if I would have actually gotten the job, I don't even know if I would have accepted it, or if I would have accepted it, I may not have even enjoyed the job and it would have been kind of a short-lived experience. The second thing that's really clear in hindsight is that I only got the job that I did because of the learnings that I gained during the interview processes where I did not get the job offer. I learned from my mistakes in previous interviews. I became more polished during my interviews and just gained more confidence when I was speaking to people. And although I felt like I had wasted so much time on those other interview processes, I think about the interview process that I had for the job that I did get, and the only reason I was able to do well in that interview process is because I learned how to do well in the past interview processes. So none of the time was wasted, even though when I initially got the rejections, I felt like I wasted months of my life. So even though the job interview process can be long and it can feel really defeating when you get rejected, just remember that you're growing as an interviewer and you're growing your skills even if you get rejected. And the experiences you have during your job interview process, even if you didn't get the offer, are going to be really valuable for you in the future. All right, and the third lesson I learned during my job hunt process is that it is so important to prepare for interviews. I kind of went into my first couple interviews with zero preparations, and quite honestly, they were really bad interviews. I was talking in circles, I wasn't making a lot of sense, and I definitely was not able to convey my product skills at all. And I think I had just assumed that because I have a lot of product experience, I can obviously just go into product interviews without having to do any preparations. But very quickly I realized that I was definitely wrong on that front. So I reread the Cracking the PM interview book, which is super helpful for any product manager that's getting ready for interviews. I also did some practice interviews. I watched a lot of mock product manager interviews on YouTube, and I put a lot of time into any of the presentations that I needed to prepare. So I realized that if you actually want to do well in these interviews, you do have to put in the work. Put in the time, practice, make sure you're really confident going into the interviews, and that will really help you convey your value during the interviews, and you'll end up rocking it. And you won't have train wrecks like I did. All right, so there you have it. Those are some lessons that I learned during my job hunt. I really hope that my lessons are helpful to you if you also find yourself searching for a job and maybe feel somewhat defeated or exhausted or just plain sick of searching for a job. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more content from me, please subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, friends. All right, I'm gonna also get back to partying because I'm really excited.